Sup boys, Luidel here with the Demo Lock PP guide. 0 to Elite Challenge 14 completed, not too bad. This one could be the quickest. And the reason is I already played it before, I don't know, in September I played it to 2k. And this is the only caster I actually played this season, I think, while I was gearing Warlock, right? So I already had some MMR. I was around 2.3 from the start. And then I just climbed very quickly. I won most of my games, 29 wins, 19 losses. Then swept the last game against Destrolock, Arms Warrior and Windwalker. Pretty tough matchup, but we took it. Now, guys, this might be my favorite caster this season. It's so fun. I just click with it. It's so enjoyable to play. I love it. I love this spec. It's great. It's amazing. Now, other than that, let's get to the guide and let's start with the race, guys. So, per usual, if you're gonna play Alliance, Void Elf is gonna be the best, and the close second will be the Night Elf. Now, if you're gonna play Horde, probably the Tauren, High Mountain Tauren will be the third best option. And then for the fourth, we might have this time Orc, because, you get some pet passive damage. You get some Blood Fury is not that bad on Demo, because you will be able to cast more, because you won't be targeted as often as other Warlock specs, right? And that's it, guys. I mean, I do believe Alliance has way bigger edge. Like Void Elf is like a lot better than the High Mountain Tauren in my opinion. But if you're gonna go with the Horde, this is what I would go with, either High Mountain or Orc. Okay. Let's get to the gear. Okay, so these are my stats. We have 37.6. Oh, wait, let me remove this. So this is my haste. This is my verse, mastery, and crit. That's mostly from the tier sets, right? Running 4 set, honestly guys, you could run 2 set as well. I tried maybe 2 games without a 4 set. I didn't see any difference. It's very, very, very minimal. So if you want to run 2 set, go run 2 set. If you want to run 4 set, run 4 set. If you're going to run 2 set, you're going to remove the head and the shoulders. And other than that, I'll go slowly through the gear if you want to copy paste something. This is the gear I made it with. Pretty much the same gear as I used on my Affliction Lock. I didn't change anything. Like literally the same. I didn't change anything. And that's it, guys. Very simple this time. Not much experimenting. This worked completely fine. Like completely fine. And this is the gear I would keep if I continued playing. Very, very nice. Now, let's talk about the hero talents. So we have a Diabolist and Soul Harvester. I love Diabolist. Honestly, this is the most fun Warlock hero talent out of all 3 specs in my opinion. And I wish all 3 specs could play this as a meta, because this is so fun. This is, in my opinion, this is the most fun out of all. By far, not even close. And fuck Soul Harvester, okay? I don't want to play Soul Harvester, and I didn't even try it, nor do I want to try it, because this is so fun, and I want to keep playing this forever. This is my favorite caster. This is might be one of the reasons that why it's my favorite caster. So I'm sticking with this forever. Now, only if it's really, really, really bad, then I'll have to change. But for fun, this is way better in my opinion. Now, let's break down the left tree, let's break down the right tree and the PvP talents. Okay guys, 4 optional talents. Everything else you see here, you must pick. Don't even think about it, okay? Don't even think about it. Everything you see here, you must pick. We have some interchangeables, which is Howl of Terror with the Mortal Coil. Now, you'll be running Howl of Terror if you're running this. If you're not running this, then you're running Soul Edged Circles with Mortal Coil. Then we have another option here. This is very dependent. Both are amazing. Both are good. pick whatever you want. Like, I'm running this, just, I don't know. I mean, both are good. It's hard to say which one is better. Now, 4 points. What can we pick? Fel Domination. I would recommend you to pick this because I was not running this. Okay, I was not running this, and then I was playing against I don't know, it was Unholy DK or something like stupid like that, you know. That's very popular. I think it was Unholy DK, and my pet died. So if your Felguard dies on a Demo Lock, it's a 4-second cast, I think. 4.6 second cast, guys. You're not gonna get that cast off. You know, it's very tough to get that cast off. And if you don't have your Felguard, you might as well lose, you know. So you need to pick this. If you're playing like against a sub-rogue or something that you're 100% sure it won't kill your Felguard, then you can remove this, okay? But if it's something that's cleaving a lot, like, you know, Evoker, Unholy DK, I don't know, Warrior, you know, whatever cleaves a lot, you need to pick this. Monk, right? So you need to pick this. Otherwise, if your pet dies, you're in a big trouble, okay? Big trouble. Now, we have 3 points now. And you can go 2 points here for some tankiness. You go 2 points here for some damage. Now, I always put 1 point here because I think this is a great talent, and I love like 10-second damage reduction, great. And you port a lot, so this is almost permanent wall, right? Small, super small wall, but it is something. Now, this will be very, very choice dependent. Are you gonna put like, and you can put 1 point here, okay? Boom, we can put 1 point here, and then we can put 1 point here for some extra damage, or 1 point here for some tankiness. Now you can go this way too, okay? I'm sometimes running this, sometimes running this. Now, on Demo Lock, this is specifically good because, you know, once again, you're running Felguard, which is much top of your damage. Okay, so if he dies, if he's taking less damage, this is great. So this talent is probably the best, if you ask me. Now, this is good, and this is good too. You could, you know, remove any of these. So, at the other talents, I wouldn't even look, because, you know, I wish Demo had some extra points, and then we can take all of it, but we don't. So, okay, enough talking. Let's get to the right tree. Right tree, I didn't experiment much. I did experiment a little bit with the Imp Gang boss. I was reading a bit on the you know, Discord server, stuff like that about this. Just doesn't seem that it's that good. So other than that, I tried this too. It's pretty decent, but you know, other talents are just better. So it's pretty much locked in, guys. You can't change much here. Like, you could remove one of these, maybe, you know, to take one of these talents, which are pretty decent too. But I ran this, it works. You know, if you take 1 point here and put it here or here, it's not gonna be a game changer, right? So you can do that. You don't need to do that. It's not a big deal. Everything else is locked in. Now, PvP talents are very interchangeable. And you can pick a lot of them. Now I removed some talents. I don't even know how I hide, maybe. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna use some of these talents, and it's very dependent on the comps, right? So Impish Instincts I pretty much always run, because I'm used to this PvP talent from my other lock specs, and I always run it. Now, Netherward I run against casters, very simple, right? Call Fellowlord I run when I know I'm gonna be, you know, I don't know, it's double warrior or stuff like that, and they're gonna be, you know, 100% on my ass all the time. It's a viable choice. Now, Gateway Mastery might be better because, you know, you don't want to be tanking a lot of damage, so you'd rather move around the map, so Gateway Mastery is pretty damn good against melees too. Shadow Rift is a great PvP talent for battlegrounds, stuff like that, but I wouldn't be running that in arena. It's a fun, you know, PvP talent, but you need to pick something else because, you know, we have stuff. We're serious here, right? Bonds of Fel. Honestly, I never ran this. It's not terrible, but it's decent, but, you know, you can't pick them all. And this one just, you know, is not top 3. Soul Rip is better for sure. It's pretty damn decent as well against melees. So if you're playing against melees, this could be your setup. Or, you know, you could call Fel Lord instead. Whichever you think is, you know, more valuable for you in your situation. Very dependent. Now, you could go even Soul Rip with Fel Lord, but then you have 2 extra buttons, you know. So, all of them are viable. So you have 4 against melees and 1 against casters. Everything else I wouldn't use. Okay. So let's get into the most important part, damage. Server shutdown, so here we are. The game just started. We're doing an opening. We're going behind the pillar, putting the circle down. We're dropping the gate where we need to. Depends on the map, right? We stay behind the pillar this time. We summon the big dogs. We don't get kicked. We power siphon, so we get some stacks. Then we cast the dogs on enemies. We throw 1 siphon, which Hand of Gul'dan. Throw another siphon. We Felguard. We demonic. We empower the demonic strength. Oh, I didn't summon the pet. Whatever. Now we demonic strength, okay? And that's pretty much it. That's the perfect opener you can have, in my opinion. That's what I do anyway, right? And, you know, I don't see how it could be better than this. Now, after the initial burst, let's call it, it's not really a burst because it's very consistent damage, we just, you know, follow the damage priority. We have 3 or more shards, we Hand of Gul'dan, but if we have big dogs, we summon them, then we summon small dogs, then we Hand of Gul'dan, then if something procs like this, we click it, of course. And then boom, Hand of Gul'dan, 3 shards or more. If not, we Demon Bolt. Hand of Gul'dan, Demon Bolt. Hand of Gul'dan. Oh, Ruination. Hand of Gul'dan. Dogs. Then if you had nothing to do, we Shadow Bolt, right? So that's the damage priority pretty much. Okay, utility CC defensives. So let's start with the defenses. Like usual, our best defenses is our mobility, and so we want to abuse our teleport and our gate as much as we can. Boom, warrior charges, boom, we teleport. You know, he leaps, boom, we gate away, right? Stuff like that. So that's our first line. Second line, we have Dark Pact. Very good, insane shield, and we want to be clicking this off cooldown pretty much. Okay. Now, Unending Resolve can be used offensively and defensively. If your healer is really CC'd and you don't have port or stuff like that, you can click this defensively. Now, if you are going for the kill, you could always offensively unend, fear the healer so you can't get kicked, and boom, you can take a GG. Now, CC guys, we have a little bit different than usual. On Warlock, we have a stun this time, which actually enables us to get a free fear on the enemy healer if we are not the target, right? So whatever you're gonna do is, we're gonna X-toss, then we're gonna throw 1 ability between, and then we're gonna fear, right? So that's a 9-second CC, which forces either a trinket or a bubble if he's, you know, Holy Paladin. So he needs to press something because it's a long CC. Now after that fear, we can always Shadow Fury on the fear. Boom. Another 1.5 seconds, right? So, very long CC chain. Very nice. Other than that, guys, we have Howl of Terror. Or we can go with Mortal Coil. But on Demon Lock, I like Howl of Terror. Especially if you're playing against 2 melees. You know? Pretty short cooldown, guys. 25 seconds. Boom. You fear the man twice to every 25 seconds. It's pretty long fear, and it's very useful. So I like Howl of Terror on Demolock. And other than that, we have just Demonic Hellstone, which you use whenever your healer is CC'd, pretty much, right? And you don't have port. That's it, guys. For utility, don't forget to, you can gate for your friends too, right? If he needs a gate, if he needs to escape, you can gate him. Use your curses. Like, this is my biggest thing I don't do, probably, use my curses as often as I should. And of course, Soul Rip, right? Or Nether Ward, depending on the matchup. Now, other are not that important. Okay, so let's talk about 2v2, 3v3 and Blitz now. 2v2, Demo is probably the best Warlock spec for 2v2, guys. Okay, for 2v2, Demo is the best, and the reason why is because he has healing reduction, right? His pet does mortal wounds, which means he's more viable than the other Warlock specs. And especially he's tanky also. So, you wanna be probably paired with Resto Shaman, Resto Druid, Holy Paladin. All these are pretty good. I wouldn't play with like Press Evoker, Mistweaver not make that much sense. Maybe you could play with a Void Weaver. But that's pretty much it for 2v2. Very strong in 2v2 actually. Probably one of the best casters in the game in 2v2. Okay? One of the best. Now for 3v3, I think he's solid, very solid, but not amazing. I think Destro is way better in 3v3 because it's missing some damage. Now, you don't have that burst, and you don't have that huge DPS as Affliction does. So, you don't have burst, you don't have big DPS damage. So what do you have? You have Mortal Strike, once again. So, which means you can actually play with casters. So if you're playing a Demolock, in my opinion, I would be playing with another caster. And if there's another caster, there's a 90% chance you will not be the focus. The other caster will be. So you're gonna play with a Shadow Priest, you're gonna play with a Mage, Frost Mage, which could be very annoying for the enemies. You can play even with a melee, which doesn't have a mortal wound, like a Ret. Like that's good. Like all comps that don't have a mortal wound, Demolock is the caster to go with, right? Balance Druid, anything. So Demolock is pretty decent, but it's not the best Warlock spec for 3v3. I would say he's actually better in Shuffle than in 3v3. Now Blitz. Blitz is he's decent, he's fun, but the problem with Blitz, guys, is pets. Pet classes don't really work well in Blitz because UI is not the smartest, so your pets can bug out. That's the reason why. Now, if that was not the case, he would be great. But since that is the case, I can't say he's great because just the pet UI is, it can fuck up a lot depending on the map. And when that happens, it's very frustrating. So he's decent, but he's not great in Blitz. Okay, guys, macros and addons. So addons, like usual, you can see them here. What's important is battleground enemies for the Blitz. Gladiator Lossa for the arena. Very good, use it until it gets removed. Frame sort is nice too. Omni Auras for or big debuffs for the, big icons on the nameplates. Omnibar tracks enemy cooldowns. Omni CD tracks your party cooldowns. S Arena or Gladius. And Weak Auras, which you can get in my Weak Auras in my Discord server, which I created a week ago. So now macros, guys. Let's see, what do we have here? Curses, mouse overs. Okay. Demon Bolt, I also put on mouse over. Demonic Circle with pet assist because I have a pet passive macro as well. Demonic Strength with pet attack, so it attacks that target. Dread Stalkers, Fear 1 2 3, Kick 1, I mean Stun 1 2 3. Hall of Terror interchangeable with Mortal Coil 1 2 3. Shadow Fury on Cursor. Fell Lord on Cursor. Tyrant with the Blood Fury, but I'm not Orc anymore. That's it, guys. Nothing else, pretty much. Very simple. I mean, these are all just pet assist in case my pet is on passive, right? So, not much macros actually, right? Very similar to other Warlock specs. Now, let's get into strength and difficulty. Okay, guys, every time I reach elite, we rate it. Now, these are our previous specs. If you haven't seen, you know, I did them all a few months ago, 2, 3, 4, depending on which class. Now, Demolock, how strong it is. Honestly, I think it's an 8 out of 10. It's pretty damn strong. It's definitely stronger than Affliction, and it's weaker than a Destro, because Destro just finishes games like this. Now, the difficulty, I believe it's an 8 out of 10. Could be surprising because it's the same as Affliction, but then again, Demolock has to hard cast everything pretty much, right? Which is tough to pull off if you're the focus. But I do believe it's way easier to get elite than Affliction because it's a stronger class, okay? I think their, you know, hardness is the same, just Affliction is way harder because it's way weaker, right? So 8 out of 10, definitely. Had a blast. One of my favorite specs in the game. I love it. Guys, thank you for watching. This one was shorter than usual because honestly, it's not that complex as the other Warlock specs. Here we have a game that's usually pretty tough, you know, Red Paladin, Unholy DK, and Marksman, but first two lobbies, they will be going me, and now they gave up on me because I was super tanky and unkillable pretty much. So I just want to show you in you know, lobby with another ranged how different it looks. You know, you can free cast, you can do whatever the hell you want. Like, they don't go, look, they don't want to even attack me anymore. It's pointless. And you know, it's actually very enjoyable and very fun. Like, this is one of the most fun things you can do, you know. When you're not the focus, you can actually enjoy the game to the full. And, you know, you can run around, CC. That's it, guys. There we go. And once again, guys, thank you for watching. If you wanna, you know, copy my LVI weak auras, I put them in the Discord, and drop by, say hello, and I'll see you next time on Shaman.